right, let's get at it. Another week here on Barnburner, FlamesNation.ca, Boomer, Pinder, Warner. A Calgary Flames game day as they are in the Pacific Northwest. Is that what that is? Seattle.
Yeah. Emerald City.
Yep. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Emeralds.
Why emerald? The hemorrhoid city? What?
Nope.
I've been there a couple times.
I heard you're the mayor for a while.
Yeah. How was everybody's weekend? How we doing, everybody?
Busy. Pittsburgh for 2 hours of hockey, 7 hours of driving, and 2 hours of hockey. So that's a lot.
You got those ratios all backwards, buddy.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Bills game, huge win for the Bills, fellas. Look damn good too, doing it. Beating up on that poor Jets defense. Oh, baby.
The Bills defense looks pretty good. Now, it was against the Jets, but still.
Zach attack is not a real challenge.
Got benched.
Did I see that the Jet receivers combined for 9 receiving yards? Is that accurate?
Oh, boy.
I don't know the total stats, but they weren't very good.
No.
It was the longest game ever. First half was like 2. I'm like, oh my God, this is too much.
Well, didn't someone get carted off, Rhett?
Yeah,
Excuse my
Rap.
ignorance. Yeah.
Another defensive guy. God. And I'm real glad with, I'm sure we'll talk about it later, but I'm no longer a good in the room team guy when it comes to picking football picks.
You were trying to be supportive of Dean's Bears. They covered.
What was wrong with my?
Did they cover?
Yes.
Oh, I thought they.
And the Bills covered. And
Bills covered. Yeah.
Jack doesn't want to talk about it. And I've told you all season, stay away from the fucking Chargers. They are bad at playing defense.
I was told because, as you know, being the big Bears fan that I am, games like yesterday, get used to it. Where you may have a lead. You may have a lead late in games.
Yeah.
Apparently, Bearsy. A very Bearsy way of losing that game.
Billsy,
yesterday.
there's Chargersy, and now Bearsy.
Yeah, there's a lot of those things. You were under the overhang. You had your good
heat
seats.
lamps going. It was beautiful.
Is that what that is? Heat lamps?
That'd be row 6 or 7. 6 would be pushing it. You'd get a little bit of heat. Row 7's better than 8 and above.
So I'm looking at those. You're soft now, right? Because you talk about you can't be in the sun in the summer, and now that it's even just not even close to winter, you got to be under the heat lamps. Like this is.
I sit in those seats every time.
You've been softened, eh?
They've got the shade when needed, and they got the heat when needed.
You're like a baby chick.
Yeah.
You just need to be under the,
It's incubating.
So that you're nice and toasty warm under there. Keep you all nice and warm.
We're looking at places in Carolina too, because very moderate temperature.
Yeah, that's what you want.
What time you got up and moved a little further away from Calgary?
South.
Kind of disappointed.
Yeah, a little further away.
This long.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what'd you do there, Pinder?
A little bit of kid hockey. Went to the game on Saturday with pal of the show, Mike Soroka, who is a new Chicago White Sox. Great to catch up with him. Again, quality human, better than us and more mature than all of us. Really hoping for the best for him in Chicago. It's his last year before he hits free agency. And he's in good spirits about the whole thing. So that was good to catch up with him. That's our annual once a year we go watch the Flames.
Did you get him sick this time?
No, he didn't puke. He is blaming that on a bad shawarma, if I'm correct. Remember when he was in studio? He said he had he went to a different location.
Yeah, I know.
He had 1 beers, so you can't blame me. 1 beers.
How many beers did you have?
2. It's good behavior, Pinder.
That's odd.
Mama Bear must be pissed off.
She must be right wound tight right now.
We're coming right into Christmas party season. This is going to get ugly, fellas.
Oh, boy. Good to know.
I'm looking at the calendar. I'm like, oh, dear. I need some points quickly because I'm going to have to spend some points here.
How's Jackie boy? How we doing there, Jack?
My weekend was good until 11 a.m. on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then it was ruined.
Came a tumbling down.
Really?
Because Jack hates more than any of his divisional rivals Deshaun and the Browns, and just like they're the biggest frauds in his mind. So to lose to them would sting the most. Cincinnati talent, Baltimore talent. The Browns are dog shirt. That would have hurt. You've been slandering the Browns all year. Am I right?
Yeah, and they're not very good.
Thank you.
They put up 13 points.
So what does that say about?
But how many did the Steelers get? Because that should be
10.
Oh,
in the
that wouldn't be enough then
quarter.
No, yeah.
On that particular day, then
There's an offensive coordinator from Buffalo available if you guys are in the need.
mm-hmm.
A new one, or do we?
The oldie. Yeah.
I was going to say, you like the new guy? Looked like they had. I think it was the most touches James Cook has had since week 2. I like that. Like, oh,
They
you
did
want to
look
run the
good.
ball in the winter? That might be a good idea. And he was
No,
really
you can't
good.
have the new guy. You can have the old guy, Dorsey.
Yeah, there you go.
We need a lot more than a coordinator.
Quarterback.
Oh, now it's Tomlin. 4 days ago, best
it's
coach in the world.
Getting to Tomlin. Quarterback is the next. Yeah, I'm done.
Kenny?
Kenny can
You're
go.
done? Did
Yeah,
you just
Kenny's
say I'm done? You're done.
I'm done with Kenny, yes.
He just launched Pickett into the sun this weekend. You saw the message in the group chat. It's tough times for Steeler fans. They really thought this was going to work. I'm getting, outgained in yards every single week and somehow being above 500. That there's some magic Tomlin formula where this can actually be sustainable. No, it's not.
Sorry, Jack.
That's all right.
You go get Josh Dobbs. Go get the astronaut for next year.
So Trubisky then, or
Rudolph.
Oh,
I was telling Ryan Rudolph.
he's like, let Matt Canada and Mason Rudolph cook. And I said, you're not going to want to eat that.
no, you don't want that. Hey, how about the Grey Cup, everybody? How about the Grey Cup yesterday?
I did see it was on TV. It would sort of snuck up on me.
Congratulations to the team that won.
Yep.
Solid performance by those guys.
If you ask me, I've got a 50% chance of picking the winner.
Okay, so the floor is yours. Rhett, Grey Cup 2023 in Hamilton, the winner and the champions, rightfully so.
I'll stick with the team I picked on Friday, the Winnipeg Jets, also known as the Blue Bomber.
There's a lot wrong there. You sang a song on Friday. You remember that song?
More for the other team.
Did they win?
They did.
Underdogs.
Vive la France.
Came from behind, staged a late comeback and held on to win.
Oh, man.
Calvillo and Pringle, sensational. Again.
Yeah.
Hooked up for
Ben
some real
Cahoon is just
artistry.
this time of year. You
Yeah,
don't
Ben
bet against him.
Cahoon. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
28-24. Owls win the Grey Cup.
And the Alouette Frenchmen, the Québécois on the Alouettes were furious that the field didn't have LCF on it. And there was some rants and tangents about en français, of course, about how
He had a very good rant. Yeah, it was
CFL it was just absolutely besmirching and ruining the
You know what he
experience
did?
for French Canadians.
he gave the English speaking to all of Canada, the media, TSN, everybody. He gave them one of these. You know what I said to you? I give you one of these. What is tabernacle? Is that bad? Is that a bad one?
Yeah,
It's weird. I think most of the cuss words are actually just like places or things having to do with church.
Tatamagoosh.
Something
One
about
of
church.
Well, CFL season done for another year. Tough one for the old Stampeders. Some maybe back to the old drawing board type stuff for the Stamps.
They finished stronger, but God, it's ugly. I mean, you think about they've won basically 80% of their home games for like a decade, and this year wasn't. Yeah, they probably lost it.
Yeah. Well, you know what Dave Dickinson said at the end of the year? He was like, Zutalor.
Is that what he said?
He gave one of those.
he said, "Give me a new stadium."
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Is there even a whisper about the
Why
field
would
house?
there be?
There's money allocated for the field house. There's
The
a
field house thing was so
house,
flawed, Dean. Like, I'm sorry. Everyone loved the idea. They were just going to invent a new tax thing that the city doesn't have. They've already used all those. Like, oh, we'll just create a new tax. No, like, it was just pipe dream. So, yeah, it would have been amazing, but it was so flawed. It was never going to happen. Oh, and this land, we don't know how much it's going to cost to clean up, but the city will pay for that and then give it to us for free. Like, it was not well thought out. It would be nice to have said facility, but it was never going to work. That thing never had legs.
I thought that the money was earmarked already for the field house.
And so then what about the cleaning up the land, and what about the tax levy for the neighborhood that they don't have any more access to those tax levies? What about those?
Where's the land got to be cleaned up?
It's not, because it doesn't have a price tag. If it costs $1 billion, you let that thing sit.
I don't know what you mean though. What, like, clean what land?
So the West Village, there used to be a facility that made like railroad ties on it.
No, yeah, but I'm
and so the land is contaminated with like
on that site, but build it somewhere else. Tear down the old Burns Field there and that thing, because that thing's done. Burns.
Well, the
Stadium.
university owns that land. They're not interested. The
And
university likes
shoot,
to hold
put
it.
up you can make, hey, you know, let's try and make things happen here. Let's a little bit of, you know.
Have you seen how long it took things to happen for the Flames in the city hall here? Like that owner in that city hall, you think it's going to be easier for a team that has 9 home games a year?
Yeah.
And
you know what Gondik said to the Sacre bleu.
I think that's what Murray said too when they asked him to pay for it. So here we are.
If I had the money, I'd do it, but I don't, so I can't.
Go get that money. Go get a couple bees. Where are your bees at?
Love some bees. Would love some bees. Coming up, Frank Seravalli, one of our NHL insiders. He was at the whatever series in Sweden. He was in Stockholm.
The global Let's All Celebrate Hockey in Sweden, except in Canada where we can't see the games on TV except the one at 5 a.m. Good work, everyone.
So now I was getting the games. Is that only on like the Sportsnet package, or was it not on TV? Because when you were saying it wasn't on,
they were TSN games. Tell me about all the national broadcasts TSN have. They don't. They have 0. So they were only regional Ontario for cable. Now, if you've got the package, a little different.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I think the Sunday morning one was the exception, but that was like, what was it, like a 5-6 a.m. puck drop Calgary time?
Yeah, I don't know. I knew I could see the games, but I guess
Stu dialed in on the Grey Cup. I couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, I couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, 10 hours later.
Yeah, so the whatever series is over in Stockholm, and old Willie Nylander put on a show. Willie Nylander.
Is he like 2 points a game right now? He is on fire.
27 in 17.
Ooh, guy's gonna get paid.
Not bad, eh? See, that's what you do when you're in the last year of a fucking deal.
Elias Lindholm, write this down.
Fellas, that's what you do. 2 points a game.
Easy concept.
The fuck?
Oh, man, you're French.
Oh, jeez.
Ferme ta bouche. Yeah. So we'll talk to Frank about that and some other things that are going on. Not good in Columbus. I don't know if you've noticed.
Isn't it?
Not good.
Love Columbus.
No. Johnny Gaudreau, Rhett, only has 2 more goals than you do.
Okay, I might catch him then.
You could.
Yeah, lots of runway.
Yeah, would seem lots of runway and not an insurmountable number. I like your chance. I mean, tie him anyway, right? Just go to the net. Go to the net. So we'll talk to Frankie Boy. Now, the Flames, they are in Seattle, the Hemorrhoid City tonight at the Climate Pledge Arena, where they've never lost. 5-0 lifetime against the Seattle Kraken is what they're called, guys.
Do you remember the victories in Seattle? I can remember a couple because we were in some special
all
places.
Must wins. They were all must wins.
Well, I know one was earlier this month.
Yep.
And that was Dan Vladar. Yeah, he got a win there. That was the Pospisil.
Yeah.
First game, first goal. Big night. We were very excited.
Also,
very excited.
We were in Jasper last year, if you remember.
Were we?
You don't remember? Okay. Yes, we had the old viewing party in the lobby, and it was the Flames couldn't do anything right, and all of a sudden they were hot knife through butter in Seattle.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
All right.
What I can tell you, though,
Frank. Too many Caesars with Frank.
What I can tell you is there have been, 6 games since that game in Seattle for the Flames, the one earlier this month.
Yeah.
So since that game, just let me get it for you. Since then, they have played the Predators, the Leafs, the Senators, the Habs, the Canucks, and the Islanders. 6 games. The last time they scored a power play goal was in that game in Seattle.
Power play's been dog shit this year. Really? Like really bad.
12.7%. They have as a team 7 power play goals.
How many shorties did they allow?
Jaden Schwartz of the Kraken has 5.
Right.
They have 2 shorties, 7 power play goals. And yeah, the last time they scored was in that November 4th game against the Kraken. They've gone 0 for 16 since.
Are we not just going from one long scoreless drought to another in this power play? Wasn't it that whole road trip they came back? They were 0 for 19 at one point.
Yeah.
When you're 10 to 12%, that says something. You're not scoring very often.
Yeah. And so the question then becomes:
Astute by you, Retro. Hey,
see, I know math.
12%. That's not a lot.
So you're saying some teams are double that production? Okay, that's probably not good then.
You could be double, and there's still some teams doing better.
Yeah. So is this a coaching issue? Is this a roster issue? Is this
Mark Savard! Ferme ta grande bouche! Ooh.
Yeah, Leader Acola's got to get some work done on that power play. They got to start moving the puck around. Does he not look like Farva right now? This is unbelievable.
Cool. I want him on the show. I want
him on the show too.
Come on, Rhett.
I can get him on the show.
Get Savard on the show.
Let's do it.
And just tell him, hey, and if you come on the show, we won't say anything about your dog shit power play.
Shitty power play that you're some sort of.
Won't bring it up. Won't even bring it up. Your horrendous power play.
Hey, Mark, everything's going so swimmingly. Let's focus on your career. We'll maybe touch on the Flames later.
Now, when you were on teams, did you guys actually score power play goals? Unlike this team.
When it goes in on the power play, do teams celebrate the same way, or is it like, does it look different? We've forgotten.
Now, see, the overriding theory is that when you have a man advantage, it's supposed to be an advantage. Thoughts?
I'm going to go look up how many shorties they've allowed because it only makes it worse.
Yeah.
Have they allowed some?
Not just that the power play is not good. It's also that they're leaking shorthanded goals.
Yeah.
Really?
I think they've probably allowed 3 or 4.
Yeah, you know what? I don't.
Honestly,
we actually don't want to know. I'm betting is the case.
Well, you're gonna find it anyway.
They are now 0 for 3 as because if you watched the game the other night, the Islanders beat them.
Flames have allowed 3 shorthanded goals. Only 4 teams have allowed more shorthanded goals against, and none of those teams are operating at as low of a power play. Not even close.
Quarter of the season 3. That's going to be 12 all year. That's not ideal.
And you know what? We haven't said a whole lot about it, but I feel now it's enough games played. It's enough of a sample size, as they say.
Yeah. This is what, 17 games?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're 1/5 of the season. So actually 15 shorties is the pace.
It's worse. This math is a shit.
That's
I don't
no
like
good either. No, that's no good. Ah, damn it. So the Flames lose in a shootout on Saturday to the New York Islanders. They're now 0 for 3 past regulation.
Yeah, that's again, that fits the script. I like that they're starting to use some of the kids out there, but when I saw Huberdeau go out for the shootout on Saturday, it's like, are we just ignoring the data here? Like he's got to be 0 for his last 7 or 8.
Oh, we're picking. Come on now.
No, I mean he doesn't. He loses the handle here, and the other ones have been the most pedestrian, unthreatening moves. Zary was close. Boy, he almost had that low blocker.
I like close.
And Sharangovich is now the first guy off the bench every time. He's a crossbar and 2 goals in 3 attempts.
Now
I
was going to say, just a second. Now watch this. Are you allowed to lift the goalie's stick? Because you've seen that, right? Like Richie Preston used to do that. Lift the goalie's stick, let it go through the 5-hole.
You mentioned Sharangovich,
right there. Lift the stick. Oh, come on.
He's still trying to handle the invisible puck.
Are you allowed to stick him in the head?
If I elbow him first, is that interference?
Sharangovich is the only Flame who has scored on a shootout. He is 2 for 3.
Let's not go to a shootout then. It's real
2
simple.
for 3, as Ryan mentioned. Nobody else has found the back of the net.
And a crossbar. The one he missed was a wire. And that was
Rishabak too. No good.
This was an issue we talked about last year. There's really nobody that's got good numbers. Kadri's had pathetic numbers since he got here. Huberdeau on the road last year, I think, was 4 for 7. But other than that, it's like no one's very good at all. It's not a good group. So I would just use the kids. At least the goalies don't have books on them. Like go Zary, go Pospisil.
Pospisil had a chance there in regulation, even on a breakaway.
There's a bunch of chances to win that.
Come on, son.
Can I be perfectly honest?
Bring
Please.
it.
The game was blacked out in my area.
So
yeah,
MSG again.
It was a highlight night for me. So
you didn't.
how
you
was
Tom Hickey? Go get the backdoor access. Our boy.
How was
the hell?
We were so chatty with him last week. You can at least follow up.
Yeah, you were just badgering the guy's ear off.
I talked to him.
Did you?
What insight did you get? Oh, hey, you're a nice guy from Calgary, eh, Thomas? I got to the hard-hitting stuff.
Yeah, you sure do.
Go down with Eric Bolton because Bolton's daughter, injured his arm.
Right. Got it.
And then there was an elbow smash. And they stepped into the ring and dealt with it like men.
Right.
That's my take.
It's a good take. I see here if you want to take part in the program, you can get into the chat on the YouTubes or the Facebooks.
Yeah.
Is this Lord of what?
The Flack.
Lord of Flack. Flack. You guys need to put up some billboards or something.
Oh yeah.
Didn't even know you exist in this format till last week. Rhett deserves more than 350 people watching live. About the right number for Pinder.
Yeah, well, don't worry. We're up to about 420 right now.
Well, it is more than that. On
Rhett's
YouTube,
a good 420 number. He's in there. Look at 430. It's just climbing right now.
Yeah, we need some billboards.
I love billboards. I've always said I'd like to be on a billboard.
Yeah.
I was on a billboard once.
Were you?
Yeah, when they launched that new afternoon show, Pat and I, like we might have had the standard radio.
How did you guys get a billboard? We ever have a billboard, Dave?
We did. Remember, it would be people who would be driving in from Airdrie.
Yeah.
Would see our billboard. I think we had the one billboard
in Airdrie.
It had to be some weird throw in
north and west of Airdrie.
Hey, I see you guys out by Crossfield. Great.
That's where the Pat one and I was too. I think
we're huge in Crossfield. No offense, Crossfield. I mean,
no, Balzac. It's like honestly, you could sell out a dinner every week with us.
It is true though. Unless you know you're here, how the hell do you know we're here? The only place we can tell you that we're here is here. Hey, we're here.
But if you know, here's all the social medias. That's kind of where we're at, yeah.
Right? If you're here and if you're seeing it on social media or you're here, you already know we're here. What about Lord of Leck there? There's got to be more people like Lord of Leck.
There are.
God damn it.
Leck, spread the word, big boy.
Come on, Lecky,
let's doing go. Such good work here.
So good.
More people deserve it. They deserve to have it in their ear holes and in their,
That's why you got to like and share. Like Walshy's saying. Look at this.
Like and share. Share and like. Schleich.
You know someone in Saskatchewan, I guarantee you they'd love this show.
For sure.
Do they have the internet there?
It's dial up, but they got it.
Yeah, okay, then they can do
it. Hey, speaking of which, another thing that we're not doing particularly well is we're trying to sell a trip to you and not telling you where to go and buy it.
Oh.
Well, tell the people.
Like if you see on all the stuff that we have online and
all
here,
our billboards.
It's on all our billboards. We spent all that money on billboards. It's the Barn Burner Vacation, the inaugural vacation. We're going to Phoenix in January from the 11th to 13th. It's presented by Alberta Blue Cross. Where do you get it? I don't know. Figure it out.
Nationgear.ca, baby.
Nationgear.ca is the website. We should probably change. Cross social and that we should put on there. Tickets available at.
Or even a link, that would be helpful.
A link would be great too, yeah. We're going to Phoenix. Your flights, your game tickets, your hotels, your transportation to and from the airport, all included. And this week, mama, Black Friday special. Right now, Nation Gear, $12.99 based on double occupancy. That means if there's two of you. There's got to be two of you. And then it's the $12.99 is how that works. We're gonna go watch the Flames and the Yotes at the Mullet Arena. We're working on a couple things. Might even be some celebrities
Yeah, there will be
along the way. Some
I've-
celebrities.
I've also dedicated myself to a mullet in Mullet Arena. If we sell this thing out, I'm cutting my hair in a mullet.
Attaboy.
Mullet, I think we will have T-shirts made that say "Rocking the Mullet" because we will be
High
in
in-
Mullet Arena.
You're going to give it one of these? Nice and tight on the sides?
90s night at the Dome on Saturday, and they went through the top 5 mullets in Flames franchise history. I think we're going to go right back to like a mid-90s Trevor Kidd, really long in the back and like some feathered at the top. There was a lot of great candidates in there, by the way. But if Jack wants to effort
All the kids are doing it.
Kid mullet,
All the kids are doing it.
that'll be the vibe.
Well, if your wife isn't enamored with you now, just wait.
Dude, she's Aussie. They love this shit.
Do they?
They kidding me? Do Aussies like mullets?
I don't know a lot of Aussies. That's your life, not mine.
Something
telling
from
you.
Australia.
That is the trip coming up in January. Get it. It's a good Christmas gift. It's a good, just whatever. Get some guys together. Get this thing going. It's brought to you by Alberta Blue Cross. There's only one thing better than sharing memories, and that is making new ones. Alberta Blue Cross Travel Insurance protects your memories and more wherever travel takes you. Visit ab.bluecross.ca/travel for more information. Alberta Blue Cross, celebrating life's memorable moments inspired by hockey. Coming up, we'll do the Pinder Report for Village Honda. Lots to get into. NFL, hockey. There's some things going on. We'll get Frank on here in a matter of moment. Did we enjoy the NFL yesterday? Obviously, you went to the game. Jack, I know you didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. At a 1:00 puck drop. So I got the first hour of red zone and then I was got to go.
Are you one of those asshats that makes the 9-year-olds get to the rink an hour before the game?
We have no time, anything.
Oh, good.
It's just,
that is, thank you.
I like to be there as a coach with 2 kids that need 4 skates tied to be a good half hour, but no, nothing psycho.
For all you idiot coaches out there, it's a complete waste of their time and yours.
Okay, so let's follow up on that. How do you feel about the suits to the rink? Because I know
Stupid.
at some point that's mandatory, or is that dumb?
Suits. That's
Stupid.
You're a ways away from that, aren't you?
Well, I'm just asking. I mean, like, because your older kids would be into that, wouldn't it?
Stupid.
Thank you.
Stupid.
Yeah.
I'll say it again. Stupid.
Got it. Okay.
Stupido.
Boy,
So what time should kids be there?
Half hours, plenty.
Half hour's plenty?
What are you going to explain to it? And I say half hour because the idiot parents will show up. Like the only thing you're trying to avoid is the kid getting on the ice late.
Yeah.
So if you say half hour, that gives the parents an extra little bit of a time frame there to be, because they're going to be late. So it's fine.
There is that. I know over the years there were some parents that were told a different time to be at the rink than other parents. It's like we're going to need you there an hour before.
The kid
Which meant
takes
about
45
40
minutes.
minutes.
I just don't know what you're trying to accomplish with 10-year-olds.
The only thing that happens is they get restless and bored and get into shit and start wrestling and
100%.
then
got to take their sticks away. The sticks when it's game time. Sticks on the stick rack.
Yeah. It's just it's
You're gonna watch video?
Yeah, what are you gonna okay, guys? Turn the music off. We gotta go over
the
some
check tonight, fellas. We're gonna go with the 2-1-2. We're gonna be aggressive in the first. If we get a lead, then we might go back to the 1-2-2. And
we gotta get the left wing lock going. I'm 9.
Yeah.
What do you want for Christmas? I don't know. What do you want? See, we're gonna have to get some pressure. So the high man comes in. Right.
We had a great development in the household at the game this weekend. The kid that loves goalie was out, and the kid that's lukewarm on goalie was in net. Got hurt, lit up in one of the 2 games.
Nice.
Dad, goalie is the worst position in all of hockey. I never want to do it again.
Nice. Good for you, son.
So I'm 1 for 2 now. One is not going to be a goalie for sure. We got to work on the other. Except he really likes it.
One in the old throatal region, and he'll get sorted out.
Yeah. My knee hurts. I'm like, son, it's net. You're going to have things flung at you as hard as people can fling them.
Yeah. What'll also be good is if your kid does play and then you get into cities or something and you get into a shootout.
Yeah.
And your kid loses, and then the whole team is like, "Oh, this guy, you lost. You're 10."
Mm-hmm. That's a good thing about goalies. There's not too much, responsibility placed on that player versus others, whether it's win or lose.
If you're going to be the goalie, you better be damn good. That's the only way you're part of the team.
That's not always the case, though.
That
the goalie's damn good.
Oh no, I know, but I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna,
life's miserable if you're not.
I see what. You're
choosing to be a miserable.
Person. Be good at it.
Yeah, if you're really good at it, it's a great thing.
My experience is always the other. It's like, oh, so you just like the gear, you like having a mask and stuff on your mask, and the pads look cool. Got it. Okay, so you're not actually, because that'll be the other thing. Oh, kid's got good gear. All right, hey, might be good. Nope. Dad and mom just have a lot of money. That's all that is. Oh dear. Hey, Wendy's is cooking. It's another week. Today's a Monday, last time I checked. So it's another week to get in on Wendy's and the Daily Face-Off Survivor Pool. Oh, baby. Every day you go in, go to dailyfaceoff.com. Top right corner, you'll see the link for the Daily Face-Off Wendy's. The Survivor Pool. You click in there and it'll give you a box. If you haven't signed up already, you got to sign up and get your little account going. And then every day you go in and you're given a list of options and you pick one. I think so-and-so is going to get over half a point, or this team is going to win, or whatever the scenario is. You're given a bunch of options.
I got them right now if you want.
Okay, give us what do you got for tonight?
Elias Pettersson over half a point. Avalanche win versus the Predators. Jason Robertson over a half assist. Connor McDavid over 1.5 points. Artemi Panarin over 3.5 shots. Flames over 19.5 hits. So some of these are very likely. Some of these are very unlikely. And you got to go get one that's correct, and then you'll survive till tomorrow. I'm going to go with the Pettersson over a half point. Are you kidding me? The Canucks right now? Heater. Got it locked.
There you go. Now you can only pick one of those, correct?
That's correct.
You pick one of them. If it hits, if Pettersson, say you take the Pettersson over half a point. If he gets a point tonight, ding, you move to tomorrow. Then if you get another one, ding, you keep rolling it over. That's the survivor aspect of this, you see.
And Sharks, are you kidding me?
Wendy's is rewarding you with weekly prizes that could have you doing some serious winning. Download the Wendy's app on your phone. Score yourself 150 bonus reward points on your first order. It's spicy chicken sandwich. So I just keep coming back to a spicy chicken sandwich. Then you put your prediction skills, obviously, to the test. 1,300 bonus points if you win the week. And then you use those points for real food at Wendy's. Sign up today. Play Wendy's Daily Face-Off Survivor Pool. And be like me and have I'll have 119 spicy chicken sandwiches, please. I don't think that's what you win. It'd be so good. Hey, would you get that all at once?
I don't think so, because we saw Pinder do 42 nugs, and I don't know if you could handle 119. I think
what you want to do is you want to have a big gathering of people, and you start throwing those spicy chickens around like frisbees, and then everyone can have 2 or 3, and nobody has to go 48 hours without a. Well, anyways, just too much chicken's not good.
I'd have 3 today.
How was your colon?
Oh, Jesus.
As Friday turned into Saturday.
Off-air conversation.
The people want
hemorrhoids and.
No, I'd say I feel rather normal. It just took a while for things to get moving. That's all. We'll leave it at that. Awkward 48 hours.
Did you have some of this?
Not as much as I thought. I think if I went spicy, I would have. They were the regular street nugs, not the spicy nugs.
Ooh, they've got a spicy option?
They do. They just started showing up. I would have actually taken 20 spices, but that probably would have been it.
Yeah, that would. Let's go to the Insider Hotline. It's a presentation of TELUS. Enter to win one of 6 monthly prizes, including tickets to Calgary hockey, and awesome tech like AirPods, Apple Watches, and more. No purchase necessary. All you have to do is fill out a quick survey to enter. Your chance to win is online at telus.com/Flames contest. From dailyfaceoff.com. Speak of the devil. There's Frank Seravalli, who is full of meatballs and
skadooshka booshka.
And what else
Fika.
is Sweden? Blonde women.
Full of them. Wouldn't it be the pickled herring? That's one, Dean, or schnapps?
Is it?
Hey, Lango from Haffalalale.
Okay.
Not a Swedish uncle. He was
Oh,
rad.
Pinder, you're back from California. That's nice.
Yeah, you're back from Sweden.
Yeah.
You didn't tan as much as I did.
Apparently not.
So
Probably didn't
how
drink as
many?
much either.
Yeah. How many days were you over in Stockholm?
3.5.
Yeah. It's a great spot, eh?
It's a long way to go. I'll tell you that much. 4 countries in 7 days. It was it was good. It was a great trip. Very productive. Talked to a lot of people, which was good, and got some great content. And Stockholm was pretty awesome. It's a great city. Like to get a little taste of their culture and their love of hockey, which was good, and some fun along the way.
Yeah. Did you see the Sundins or Matt Sundin? Were they kicking around?
I actually saw Matt Sundin a bunch. Ran into him a ton. He was at the games. He coaches the youth hockey team there, his son's team. So he brought them all to the Leafs practice on Saturday, which is really cool. He coaches a team with Nicholas Kronwall, which is amazing.
Just laying out hip checks still to this day.
All those kids were so excited. Like, they don't get a chance to touch the NHL at all, right?
Yeah.
And that's maybe the coolest part is it's a really difficult place to be a fan of NHL hockey. Like, you could say, oh, I love the Premier League, for instance, and I wake up every weekend to watch it. But at least that's on at, if you're in the Eastern time zone, 7, 8 in the morning.
Sure.
The local, like, there was a couple nights I had already went to bed and woke up and people were tweeting about the late games in Vancouver. And I was like, oh my God, like it's wild how different and difficult it is to watch games there.
Yeah. If you wanted to watch Elias Pettersson, for example, it's just a nightmare. Like,
it's 4:30 a.m. puck drop. And so, like, even let's say you're a little kid, and let's say you wake up and you want to catch it before you go to school. Like, it's over before you even get up.
Yeah. It's no good. We were sort of, at least I was, lamenting that I was really curious to see how this was going to go over in Sweden. This is one of very few nations on earth where hockey is either the biggest sport or sort of tied to be the biggest sport, as sometimes they'll say it is there with soccer. These games are regional broadcasts in Canada, except for one that was on 5 a.m. Mountain Time. Like, how are they not making this a big deal? Is this an issue for you? You're an American, so it would have been all on the streaming, but I just was baffled these weren't coast to coast in Canada.
Not really, because if you think about it, they're in a season of 82 games. They're at odd times, right? It was so Eastern. I'll even go Mountain Time for you. So it was 11 a.m., 11 a.m., 9 a.m., and 6 a.m.
Yeah.
I mean, those are hard times to devote a national broadcast window to. And more than that, you've got home games, regular home games that some of these teams gave up to have them. It's kind of just a fact of life that's how the business gets done. There's, 27 Leaf regional broadcasts on one network, and then the rest has them all, some of them national and a lot of them regional. Like, it's not easy to sort that out. So, I mean, to me, I saw people complaining about it, but what are you going to do? How else do you structure it? Let's put yourself in the role of the national broadcaster. Do you really want games at 11 a.m. and 2 p.m.? I don't.
They don't get ratings. I get it. I just was frustrated that you wanted to see how it was going, and it was like, no, you can't see shit.
Well, that part is just, I think it should just be more accessible, that you should be able to pay to get it, like you can in the US, where it is available on streaming if you want to watch it.
Yeah, or it's like, hey, we know these aren't big audiences, but this has to be a national audience as part of us making it a huge deal. Just like, say, when we go to Australia, anytime we go to another country, we want it on nationally in all countries. Like that could be an ask from the league. I get why the TV people are like, this is going to get low numbers. We don't want it. I get that.
Yeah, it's just not an easy spot to be in. That's all.
Did you see Nicholas Lidstrom?
We did. We saw all the great Swedes. And in fact, there was a huge part of the trip devoted to Börje Salming. Nick Lidstrom was there and won the first ever NHL Alumni Association Award for Courage for his work in supporting the Börje Salming Foundation for fighting ALS. So Lidstrom was there. He dropped the puck in the first game between the Red Wings and Sens. Matt, like I mentioned, Matt Sundin was there. Daniel Alfredsson was on the Sens bench. Like all of the great Swedes from the last 30 years were in some way connected to the game.
Did you see Jonas Höglund?
I didn't, but I did see him on Leafs Morning Take recently, if I'm not mistaken.
Really? What a get. Gonna get Marcus Nilsson lined up for them now.
He was there.
Did you see Marcus Nilsson?
He was there. Kent Nilsson was there as well. Like,
Oh,
I'm telling you, they were all. And the best part was they showed. I don't know anything about Swedish politics or the royal family or whatever, but they showed like the prince or one of them, and he got booed.
Oh, politics, eh?
Did you see Robert Nilsson?
I don't think so.
That's Kent's son. He was a Oiler pick. Or an Islander pick. Oiler, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I forget.
A lot of Swedes over there. That's the one thing about Sweden.
Well, it is a great place to people watch, if you know what I'm getting at.
Is that the most beautiful city in the world, Stockholm, for the humans? Beautiful humans?
It's up there. Like everywhere you go, and even like the 60-year-old women, you're like, oh my God. I don't know if that's your thing or not. I'm just saying in general,
Frankie.
like I text my
Zach
brother
Wilson,
at one point
settle
and I was
down.
like, look, buddy, you like my brother's single. And I'm like, you just come over here and find someone and come back. Like you don't need to stay here, but like, this is the place to do it.
I'll stop with the thing.
I saw, by the way, do you guys know Matt Murley from Spittin' Chicklets?
Yep.
I met him for the first time, not surprisingly, in a bar. I did not know his story, but essentially he went to Sweden to play 10 years ago and met a woman and now lives in Sweden. So he's quite a beautician.
That's like Rhett in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Met a woman in Buffalo and now he's there all the time.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you get drunk. You can get tied down anywhere.
Yep. If you're not careful.
Yeah.
If you're not careful.
That's kind of what Matt was getting at.
Well,
You're not careful.
We'll get into a few things here. Enough effing around. Willie Nylander had a heck of a weekend, whatever you want to call it. He's had a heck of a season. We were laughing about it earlier. The Flames with all these pending UFAs. It's like, guys, that's how you do it. If you want to put together some kind of season when you're due a contract, Willie Nylander's got it figured out. 27 points in 17 games. And just really shows no signs of slowing down. Needs a deal. Going to get a deal.
You get paid, boys.
Is it? What's Treliving thinking right now, I wonder?
I'm sure what he's thinking is, A, it's going to be expensive, but B, there is no chance I can lose this guy. I got to do whatever I can to make it happen. So, look, last time I checked, Johnny Gaudreau and William Nylander have the same agent. And last I checked, Johnny Gaudreau also knocked his contract year out of the park. Did he not?
So what are you saying, that Nylander's going to leave at 11:59 p.m. and end up in Arizona taking less money? What's the tie-in here, Frank?
Well, the tie-in is they ain't scared. Bet on yourself. Go out and have a year, and whatever happens after that, you deal with it. But whether it's staying, you've got all the world's your oyster after that. You've got the Leafs that are willing probably to pony up and pay you a big number to stay, probably has to be market value. And if not, you get to pick your next destination and you still make an absolute killing.
And how happy is Louis Gross, the agent?
Well,
it's like, I'm going to get...
Yeah, he's sitting here going, hold on a second. I get how much? Is it 3% or is it 4%? What is that? How does that work again?
Yeah.
So is he now in that $11 to $12 million range? Like seeing what he's doing here. I mean, I sort of see him and Elias Pettersson similarly, except one's the last year of RFA and the other guy's a U. Like they're both having huge years needing contracts.
Well, and one guy's a center, one guy's a little younger. I think Pettersson's probably in better shape points wise, not points wise, but what he has going for him with sort of the echelon that he's getting to. I mean, Nylander could score 50 goals this year.
So 50 goal guys, that's big money.
Yeah. I mean, what I think this weekend crystallized for me is you look at the very best players in this league, the one thread that ties a lot of them together at the very top of the scoring list is their drivers. William Nylander is the unquestioned Toronto Maple Leafs MVP this season. He's the guy that's dragging his team into the fight. When you're down 2-0 in Sweden in the third period and you have a 3-point period and you lift your team to a win and you score the OT winner all in your home city, your team is staying like 3 blocks away from where you live in the summer. You can't write it any better than that. But the amazing part about it is that he was in the spotlight and delivered. It's hard to do that. It's hard to have people lining up down the block to get your autograph and showing up on talk shows in Sweden, daytime talk shows, wearing a beater and make it look cool and then go out and do everything that you said and thought you would. Not everyone can pull that off. And that's the one thing for me. Yeah, he's been great all season long, every night in Toronto so far. But when you look at his game and where it's trending, to me, like that killer instinct, that clutch performer, he's a point per game guy the last few playoff runs. Like he's the one guy that I don't have any question about in terms of showing up and delivering it. And I'm not just saying that because he did it again in Sweden. Go back and check the tapes. Like I've been saying it for 2 years. He's the one guy I don't think about.
Yeah, the word out of Toronto is that like clearly not everyone can play there. Expectations, the insanity of the market. Here he is chilling on a subway on the way to the game and hanging 3-4 points. Like the insanity and the heat of the market does not bother him. It's not for everyone, but those guys are hard to find. Players that are A, that good, and B, the market doesn't get to them. Like he has to be a Leaf forever. You're going to have to cut a huge check here.
Well, and that's okay. Like, I don't care. It's not so much the check that's the problem for them. I don't think they really care about that. It's the tough decisions that you have to make around your roster in order to make that work. And I don't know what it's going to come down to. I don't know how you handle the John Tavares situation. Maybe you find the money from the cap increase plus the other contracts that you have coming off your books. You know, you've got Bertuzzi, who, by the way, had a hell of a weekend. You've got Domi, you've got Klingberg. Like, there's ways to find money. But I can boil it down real simple for you. If there's a question of who the Toronto Maple Leafs should be committing long-term to on their right side, whether it's Mitch Marner or William Nylander, I know which guy I'm picking.
It's an easy.
He's up next year. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting one because you mentioned the agent who had Johnny Gaudreau, who put up big points. And then Treliving's also there too. So he's going through this again, a player who's an upcoming UFA represented by Louis Gross. Last time that player walked at the 11th hour for nothing. And he's facing a similar, right? I can't help but wonder if Treliving would be more motivated this time around. Has to be, right?
I would be. I mean, I would be calling this week saying, like, let's, whatever the number is, just write it down on a piece of paper and slide it to me and let's just get it over with.
Yeah.
So where does it get crazy? Like if he gets to 13, is that obscene? Like,
yeah, I think 13 is probably pretty obscene.
And knowing how the Nylanders negotiate, he's probably asking for 13 then.
He hasn't hit 100 points yet. He scored 40 goals once, hasn't gone beyond 40. Like, he's been a great player for a while, but this year is the first year that he's sort of broken through into that top 5, top 10 category. And that's what those guys are getting paid, 12.5, 13, 13.5. I'd be pretty comfortable at like 12, 12.5. Either way, expensive. I don't care how you slice it.
I wonder what the tag was this summer. I know we're doing a lot on the Leafs here. Sorry, but like, what if you just said, yeah, you're out, sign, like, is it 11? Like, it feels like it's gotten quite a bit more expensive.
Yeah, he's definitely made himself 10 to 15 extra $1 million so far.
Let's keep in the Gaudreau conversation. He has 2 goals this season. He has 7 points in 19 games. Columbus 4-11-4, 1 win in their last 10. Patrick Laine healthy scratched yesterday. He, of course, missed time after the Rasmus Andersson hit, but he has 2 goals as well in 9 games. It's not going well in Columbus. It's not going well for some individuals in Columbus. They just made a coaching change twice, I guess, however you want to look at it. and dead last in their conference. What is happening there? Because when you're sitting high profile guys, it draws attention. You do it more than once, it really draws attention, and then you're not winning. It's I guess I give Pascal Vincent I give him credit if in fact that's what needs to be done, but it doesn't seem like any of his tactics are working right now.
I think you need a wholesale change in Columbus. I think you start with management, and I think you sweep the whole thing right out the door, because it is a toxic environment. That's what's happening in Columbus. I'm sorry, but Pascal Vincent, like, you can't come out on Saturday and say, or Friday night and say, I'm tired of it. And I'm fucking tired of it is actually, or it's getting real fucking old is, I believe, what the actual quote was. Last time I looked, like, you are 19 games into your career as an NHL head coach. And the fact of the matter is this: has Johnny Gaudreau been disappointing this year? 100%. Has Patrick Laine failed to show up with 2 goals in 9 games? Unequivocally, yes. But you have to coach in this league, and we've talked a little bit about this with Ryan Huska and the difficult decisions that he's had to make, with a carrot and a stick. You cannot be bludgeoning guys with a hammer every week, every day. I'm sorry, it's just never going to work. And when you are scratching Patrick Laine, you're benching Gaudreau, you take your 40-point 19-year-old and healthy scratch him on opening night and banish him to the minors. You take your 6th overall pick and scratch him for a number of games in a row and then send him to the minors back and forth. I'm sorry, but you have to own a little bit of that yourself, because whatever you think your bar is, you need to adjust it to the players that you're given. And I think there's a huge mess in Columbus that emanates right from the very top in management, because just look at the guy that they wanted to hire in Mike Babcock. Yeah. That's the way they want to run their team. And Pascal Vincent, that's the way they want this run. And I'm sorry, when you get to this point in the year and you're in 29th place and you were supposed to take a step forward, be closer and be in the playoff mix, and you've acquired these guys expensively and signed guys to big tickets and a lot of money, you may be able to draft players and scout exceptionally well, but man, they're doing a really good job of ruining some players as well.
Are they doing that? Are they scouting and drafting well? I just wonder how far up you start to look, because Jarmo Kekalainen has been there for a long time now.
So David Jiricek, stud. Denton Mateychuk, stud. Kent Johnson, stud. I'm like, these are all good players.
Fantilli, Tarasov, yeah.
And they've had, and again, they've been picking high, which helps.
And they also avoided some mistakes. They took PL Dubois instead of Puljujarvi. Like, they have drafted really well, but they have absolutely torched their prospects and have not developed well. And I don't care. You can have the best draft record in the NHL. If they don't play and play consistently well, it's not worth a damn thing.
But dead last in the conference, even with the
by
type
4
of talent
points,
you're talking
tied
about,
a franchise winless streak.
Yeah.
And what? You crushed Cole Sillinger, you've smoked Kent Johnson, and you've pissed off David Jiricek. For what?
Yeah, it's
welcome to the NHL, Adam Fantilli, right?
It's an interesting start to your head coaching career. And I'm not there, but it's from a long ways away. It sure doesn't seem like it's working.
It reeks. And I said this the second that they had to have Mike Babcock step away and they sent out that ridiculous press conference thanking Mike Babcock for his services. When you screwed up that bad, and Mike Babcock, I don't know what he ended up getting paid. It was an $8 million deal for 2 years. Let's say he walked with $4 million. You should have been thrown out on your ass then.
Well, and I think the hot seat was on Kekalainen before the season started. Like this, I'm with you, Frank. It hasn't worked. Whatever the model's been, hasn't worked.
Yeah, and you've been there 10 years and you have one playoff series win to show for it. And the arrogance that they walk around with, that they think they're so much smarter than everyone else in the hockey world. It stinks.
If you look all the way up in the Eastern Conference, sorry, it's up, you find the Boston Bruins with their one regulation loss. The Sway Dog, Jeremy Swayman, a 1.73 goals against, 941 save percentage. He is 7-0-1 in the year. No Bergeron, no Krejci. What they did last year, I think, caught a lot of people, myself included, by surprise with putting together one of the finest regular seasons we've ever seen. They have not missed a beat. They are doing it again. This is clearly what? System, culture, what's happening in Boston?
All of the above. When you have guys like Patrice Bergeron, and he's not there, but show you the way for as long as he did, and Zdeno Chara before him, they set a standard, I think, of what's acceptable and what isn't. Clearly, Jim Montgomery has put his players in the best position to succeed and knows how to get a lot out of them. I think probably it means that we've been sleeping on David Pastrnak for whatever reason. Still, I don't think gets enough love and should be right in the thick of any Hart Trophy conversation that we're having a quarter of the way into the season. Their goaltending's been excellent, and I think their defense score top to bottom is one of the most underrated in the league. I'd take it's them or Carolina are the two for me that I'd have a real hard time choosing between. And then I think it's a pretty wide gap between everyone else in the league. Like Hampus Lindholm for me got Norris Trophy votes last year. Charlie McAvoy is elite. Like they've got really, really good players that for whatever reason people were counting out. And I was laughing hearing about it. Like, as I mentioned, when I do my 32 bold predictions at the start of the year, I always I ask executives, agents, people around the league, like, give me your hot take for this season. And a couple of them were like, the Bruins are going to miss the playoffs. And I'm like, how? Why? Like, what gives you that inclination to think that they are not going to make it? They could have lost 18 more games than last season and still had 100 points this season. Yeah. I mean, that's a crazy number. And they're on track to be like in that same neighborhood again of a historic record-setting season with a pretty similar group minus their captain and their heart and soul and a really good center in Krejci. Like, I think it goes to show you that they were more than just those two players last year.
Well, it's still their top two centers. That would be the thought. Like, those are great players that you lost in Krejci and Bergeron. You don't just replace them. Like, Zacha doesn't have a long track record at center ice. This other kid's a rookie no one had heard of before this year. But to your point, that's the Bruins. They find guys. They got a culture. Guys come in and know how to play. What's the follow with this Milan Lucic thing here? What do you know? It was rather vague in terms of details. All we heard was police and domestic incident.
Yeah, it's pretty ugly. And look, I certainly would like to have the process play itself out and everyone gets due process, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if Milan Lucic has played his last game in the NHL. He's going to be arraigned on Tuesday on a charge of assault and battery against a family member or household member, according to the Suffolk County District Attorney. This is something that involved alcohol on Friday night. And there's an allegation that he, not just put his hands on his wife, but was also choking her as well. So, look, this all needs to play itself out. But to me, it's zero tolerance. You put your hands on a woman. I don't care who you are, at what point in your career, how much money you make, how many cup rings you have, whether you're a legend in town or not, unacceptable. And that's where you draw the line, and we'll see you later. So depending on how this process plays itself out, obviously discipline at play from the NHL, from the Boston Bruins, and also from, of course, the justice system in Boston.
We'll come back. We'll finish up.
And hey, just for clarity, it's a small thing, but I think it's an important thing to point out that the Boston police, they're the ones that are pressing charges here. So too often, and it's sad, in domestic abuse cases, you have the spouse or the significant other, the woman involved, the next day, 24 hours later, decides to not. In this case, this was the local police service that felt that they need to move forward here with the charges.
We'll finish with the Calgary Flames. A lot going on in the rumor mill. I checked in this morning. It's at least what you're hearing. Just not much going on right now. Still, we're plodding away. But it sounds like maybe some teams are getting a little impatient with the patience being shown by Craig Conroy and the Flames. Is that fair?
Who's getting impatient?
Other GMs that want to get a deal done?
Well, then make a bleeping offer. Like, that's one. And two, like, stop dicking around with the rest of what you're trying to do. The whole, hey, let's feel each other. Like, just come out, tell me the player you want, and then here's what I'll give you for him. And then you can potentially, I don't want to shock you guys, you could potentially be on the path to making a deal. I'll tell you what, the Calgary Flames are ready. They're open to ideas. They're open to offers on a whole bunch of different things that they have in their arsenal to try and make changes. And it's not that the interest level hasn't been there, but there's been such a lack of significant real talk that they're sitting here going like, okay, like I understand that it's mid to late November now, but you like, if you want to do something, you got to actually make it happen. It takes two to tango, and it's not for a lack of or it's not for hemming and hawing on the Flames part that they're sitting around saying, well, we might want to see what we have here, or we could potentially be a playoff team. That's not their thought process. It's like, all right, let's make a deal. And no one's willing to do that yet.
Yeah.
Well, and I would just add the context of, okay, like I think part of this is that it's first time GM. Everyone wants to think they can hose Connie, and he's not just saying, yeah, okay, I'll get hosed on a deal. And then secondly, the cap is so tight with all these teams. I would think that it's just way easier by the time you get into March and 2/3 of these contracts are paid. It's really tough for teams to fit money in if you're a contender right now. There's not a lot of teams that are considering themselves playoff teams that have space. Like, how much weight do you put in either or both of those things?
A little. I would say that it's really funny. I had this conversation with Doug Armstrong last week at Hall of Fame weekend, and the pod dropped a couple days ago. But in it, he said, when I first started out, and especially now, he said one big thing that he noticed last June at the draft is that there's so many new managers now that they feel the need to win a deal. And they're only going to make a deal if they feel like they're winning it. And he said it takes you a while and it takes you to get comfortable in the league. He's now the longest tenured GM. It's kind of an amazing story. He started out in the Washington Capitals ticket sales office. And we talked through that. But he said, when you get to a point where you're comfortable and you feel like both teams are winning, that's how you actually make a trade, is that you have to there's give and take involved, and those are the best trades. And instead it's like, oh, it's the PR factor. It's the public factor. So that's one. And I'll say the second thing is, and you guys tell me if I'm crazy, but I would like to begin advocating for a second trade deadline period. And why is that? It's so that managers can get off their ass and make a deal, because they need a deadline in order to make something happen. If there wasn't a trade deadline in March, I'm not entirely certain we would see teams, they'd go an entire year without making any trades.
So what you're talking about is a trade freeze, Frank, right?
No. Well, that'd be one potential way to look at it. But let's say hypothetically, like pick a date out of thin air. Let's say December 1st is the first trade deadline of the season.
Okay.
So between December 1st and February 15th, no one is allowed to trade.
Yeah.
So the trade, I guess, if you want to look at it that way, the freeze would just be extended. And then from February 15th to March 8th or March 3rd, whatever date you pick, you can make trades again. And that to me would spur action. You need deadlines to convince these guys to actually make moves.
I think the PA would like it too. It's more safe time where you don't have to worry about families getting uprooted. I don't mind that at all, Frank.
I don't think there's any downside from the PA's perspective. That only between basically, essentially September and December 1st, and then after that, February 15th to March 8th, those are your only two times you can get traded.
Isn't that when bad deals are made a lot?
Oh, Red, I didn't know you were here.
Right? Good if you're selling.
Good for selling. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's all perspective.
I'm fine with it. I don't care. For us, more action. It's great.
Yeah.
More action, but teams I think you put teams in a better spot. Like, how much would the Flames like a December 1st trade
Damn
deadline
right.
now?
Be great. Yeah. If you teams are like, geez, we just lost another defenseman to injury. Like, shit, we got a month and a half. We got to wait till the next one opens. We got to get this done. Like, okay, it's a second for Zadorov. Fine. Let's bring him in.
So aside from us being satisfied and satiated by having deals, does it really serve any purpose?
Yeah, it produces results.
Potentially. Yeah, but I mean, for us to get excited to talk about trades, yes, if by December 1st then you're off for 2 months or whatever. But is it beyond that? Does it actually help anyone in terms of the on-ice? Like, who's it helping?
Well, it's helping a team like the Flames, like I just explained.
I guess
They can
Dean's
get
asking
moving in the direction. So
from
you're
a
saying,
perspective.
let's say you're, let's just pick a team. Let's say you're the Tampa Bay Lightning and you have a big player go down with injury on December 12th. You're pissed that you can't make a trade from then until February 15th. And who would plan for that? Is that essentially what you're saying? It hurts. It might hurt more than it helps.
Well, that would be one thing, I think, but also to handcuff teams over that period of time. I don't know what the benefit would be aside from we might get a second trade rush to talk about. Because we're bored right now. We'd like to see some trades, but no one's, like you said, no one's really stepping up aside from, because I was just looking, maybe New Jersey is feeling a little bit antsy. They're outside of the playoff picture. Carolina's a wild card team, but we keep hearing about Toronto. They're just fine. Vancouver is just fine. It's not just, there's no real need for contending teams to do something right now because there's lots of season left, not just that the trade deadline's a long ways away.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the issue because of some of the other things that we were talking about, like that contracts get paid down a lot more between now and March and things like that. Is there a way to maybe incentivize teams to make a move in this window?
While we're talking about something like this, it's just because we talked about it last week.
And by the way, I pulled this just totally out of my ass. Like
I like it, Frank. I do.
Something to think about.
3-on-3. Do we need to change it? Because some people have been talking about it's gotten boring. Teams are regrouping and the puck possession. When we got started, it was exciting and it was, your hair was on fire. Now it's been coached down and it's very diluted. Should we? Is there a thought of changing? Do you think there should be changes made?
Yeah, I think you should change it. Increase it to 10 minutes.
Yeah, and they hate that idea, don't they?
I don't want an over and back or a shot clock, as crazy as that might sound, because it's great when we see changes in possession. The ones that suck 3-on-3 are when a team rags it for 3.5 minutes, waiting for a grade A that never materializes. Like, that's how you fix it. You don't let them leave the zone when you have the puck.
I hate the idea of a shot clock. This isn't basketball.
Okay, so then over and back. I mean, what's wrong with that? Like, once you
heard
gain
Barry,
the zone, you can't leave.
I heard Barry Trotz talking about that because then you'd try and stack the blue, and what if the defender just kind of knocks it off your stick? Are you blowing it dead? Are you then having to slow it down, or is it then it's free flowing? Okay, here's the puck. We regroup. Like, what do you do then? Because they don't want to make it slower. You don't want more whistles.
I think.
Yeah, that's. Go ahead.
You got to throw sticks in the middle and then blindfold. That's how you do it.
Thanks, Rhett.
I do think Boom makes a good point, though.
They're not changing anything. We're talking about a bunch of stupid BS anyway.
They are talking about the regrouping.
Well,
I would give it like a 30% chance of actually getting a rule change in March.
So go ahead and change it, and then what are the coaches going to do?
Yeah, they're going to react, and it'll get boring again.
What difference does it make?
Yeah, this is the thing.
The strategy doesn't change because there's an over and back. If you don't have the puck, you're gonna sit back and not get caught chasing. Nothing's changing strategy wise.
Well, you can't leave the zone with the puck is the change in strategy, right? That's the whole thing is these teams that grab it and say, I don't like how this is going, and they wheel back out to the neutral zone.
Defensively, you're not changing your strategy. If you don't have the puck, you're going to sit back in a tight shell and like man on man and you're not chasing around. Yes, the boredom comes because you don't want to give the puck up, but they don't give the puck up because the defense is so good, and the defensive strategy is not going to change.
But it'll change the offense, though. The offense won't have the ability to leave the zone once they're in, is the thing, right?
I get exactly what Rhett's saying, because doesn't matter.
No, I do too.
If you can't move outside of the blue line or red line, they're still just going to be there in a shell, and that's not going to change.
But it will force
at least you
teams...
get more turnovers, right?
Yeah,
you get shots. You instead of not taking that B chance, you will, because you can't just cycle again and try to create another A chance.
But I think you have to increase the length of the OT to 10 minutes. The numbers say expected goals wise that 93% of all 3-on-3 games would end with 9 minutes. So take it to 10. That increases it almost to 100%. And then at that point, you would also force coaches to play some of their third line guys in OT, which should theoretically then produce more results as well.
That's a good point. We usually
why are the players,
guys, right?
Because we hear, and you're closer to it, I think, GM meetings just happened. Why is the PA so against a 10-minute? I know no one wants to play more than they already
isn't really for it either.
Yeah, like what's the issue there?
Well, because this is how it works. Let's say it is 10 minutes. How much of those 10 minutes do you think Connor McDavid would play?
5 at least, maybe 7.
7? Should he really add an extra 7 stressful, incredibly high skating minutes to his workload? Would teams like that? Can coaches be counted on to basically monitor and manage those minutes?
There's enough strain put on your top guys in an 82 game season in the NHL and the style of game that you have to play with the travel and all. Like, it doesn't compare to other leagues. You got basketball players that take high-end guys. They don't even go on frickin' road trips. Is that what you're hoping to accomplish? Is beat the piss out of these guys?
And it doesn't sound like a lot. An extra 5 minutes of a game that goes that long, if it happens to not be solved in the first 5. But you're right. You look at how many teams, just look at whatever they play in terms of overtime games, and take those top players, if that's an extra 2 to 3 minutes every time they play extra time. McDavid's the perfect example, because he'd be out there for the lion's share of that.
I hate the shootout. I'll do anything I can to get away from the shootout. And I don't care if you end games after 5 minutes, go back to ties, but the shootout is horrible. And I think that the 3-point game is ruining the standings.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the problem that the league won't acknowledge is that you give away 3 points in some games and 2 in another. And if you really want to disincent the shootout, don't give out a loser point if you get there, or only maybe give 1 point out for the winner. Like, if you really want to see teams not get to the shootout, make it in their best interest points wise to take more chances late in games and regulation and in 3-on-3, rather than just settling for reloads and holding the puck rather than creating chances.
I'm totally fine with getting to OT and the winner gets 2 points and the loser gets 0. Because you played an extra 5 minutes, you feel like you deserve 1 point. Yeah. Why does that work?
Chiefs Eagles tonight. Who you got?
Oh,
Frank,
baby.
boy?
Rematch.
Is this a question?
I wondered. I was just curious.
What's the spread there? When are we laying points here, Frank?
Yeah, look at this.
I actually don't know what the spread is. Not a big sports bettor.
Last I saw, it was +3 for the Eagles.
Wow. So that's
probably moved, but
it's essentially a pick 'em then.
It is.
Which makes sense.
I saw
just
their
a shame that T Swift can't make it.
I saw their soup commercial this morning.
Buying that Christmas album, Frank?
Spoon or a fork, Frank?
Hey, Rhett, the Bills are coming to Philly this weekend.
That's right. The short week. Come to Philly. New offensive coordinator. Look out.
Rhett, you should grab a bottle and head Frank's
I got a lot of places to be. I got to be back in Calgary. I got to be in Rochester. I got to get to Philly.
Rhett the Welcher. Some things never change.
Shots fired.
Appreciate you, Frank. Have a good week,
Nice
buddy.
way to finish, Frank. Thanks.
Yeah, real nice.
See you guys.
Real nice.
Rhett, I didn't even know you were here for 90% of the time I was here.
Well, it's because Boomer and Pinder don't shut up.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Thanks, Frank.
See you guys.
Insider Hotline brought to you by TELUS. Again, 6 monthly prizes could be yours, including tickets to Calgary hockey games, awesome tech like AirPods, Apple Watches, and more. No purchase necessary. Just go online and enter. Fill out a quick survey to enter. TELUS.com/Flames contest. Thank you, TELUS. Fiber. That's all you need to know. Pure fiber. You okay?
Geez, took some direct hits there, Rhett.
Completely unnecessary. You guys are having a nice conversation, and I getting shit for it.
And then he called you a welcher.
That might be true. I'm not more upset with that.
Is that still you had just because it was a whiskey bet?
I
right?
tried to get it to him.
Yeah, you've tried, but you haven't. I mean,
Which is
Mr. Paid my dues 3 years later. Okay, sorry.
I'm not taking runs at you. I will back
Wow.
Rhett up that he was going to send me money on a day when Frank was here, but the problem was Frank was not traveling with any carry-on, and you can't bring a liter of high-end.
well,
whiskey
that's
through an
not really
airport.
Rhett's fault.
Like I was saying, I got
We'll
Rhett's
figure
back
it
here.
out.
He's trying.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a-
not really
it's a-
Rhett's fault.
Wheated bourbon whiskey, I believe, is what he drinks. Something like that.
Wheated.
And I'll tell you what I was drinking, and the reason I couldn't talk, Dean.
Yeah, no, I saw it.
Eggnog.
What? Already?
Wow.
This is
In
from
November?
Hoover's Dairy.
Hoover's.
Hoover's eggnog.
Hoover's Nog.
Name
Yes.
drop.
My
Oh, the Hoover's Nog
so
is legendary.
good. The shoveler walked in all proud.
So is that Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Thanksgiving.
Is it Thanksgiving? Because I
Oh,
had
eggnog?
some
No,
I had some
eggnog's-
nog in the house at Thanksgiving. People, oh, it's only for Christmas. What
No,
are you
I think
Christmas?
it is for Christmas. Only for Christmas. It should be year fucking round. What are you talking? It's eggnog.
I do love eggnog.
Delicious.
It's like
Have you
that.
had oat nog?
Go your oat nog, idiots.
Is it good?
I've not had it.
What? Stop your.
Because again, I do
Some
get
people-
a little logy.
Yeah. Some
I'll
people
tell you what,
the
the
Jared doesn't sit
eggnog
well.
doesn't go well with the chorizo scrambled egg.
Oh, I bet. That is quite a battle royale going on in your gut.
I was gonna say.
Oh boy. Yeah, the old little that's one of these. Yeah. I do like eggnog. You're not an eggnog guy, Pinder.
I don't mind it. Yeah. I mean, it's a nice little treat. I'm not like, hey, let's buy 16 liters and hammer the next month, but like once or twice I'll sit down, a little cinnamon, a little rum in there.
Will you have eggnog in your house at Christmas?
We'll probably have it. We always do the night or two at Grandma and Grandpa's, and all the grandkids run around together. That would be a place we'd have eggnog.
Yeah. But it won't be in your house.
I'll be drinking eggnog daily
Out of
from that January 5th.
Well, Hoover's. I mean, there's no Hoover's here.
Well,
Guys.
frick, yeah. I mean,
If I had Hoover's nog, I'd be drinking it every day, year round.
Don't buy any of that half-fat skimmed bullshit.
You
Get
don't
the
know
real
my
stuff.
wife. Apparently,
We'll just pour water in it. Tell her to pour water in the other side. When she pours some.
she would be into the oat nog. That's
That's
absolutely a
way
movie she
better
would
for
like.
you. Way better.
I don't know. I just know that she'd buy it.
I'll get some oat nog and I'll let you know.
I
about
don't. I
that?
don't care about your oat nog. I'm not interested.
Hmm.
It's irrelevant in my life. I'm never drinking this shit.
You got an oat nog guy? You know,
I'm a no oat nog all the way.
no
Really?
nogger.
Never a nogger of the oat.
You don't go full nog. I thought that was how that goes. Never go full
Cut it with
nog.
water if you have to. You don't go full nog. That's fine.
Hearing Loss Clinic. Let me tell you about it. Because get it right. Hearingloss.ca. I am very happy to it's been a life changer for me. Hearing Loss Clinic. You know what? And I've just got this thing I got to put together. I want to show you guys, but the biggest thing that's changed for me is watching movies at home. Forever, you'd put the captions on or whatever. Because I can't hear. And it would be, well, turn it up. In the end, I didn't need to turn it up. I just needed the higher end of what people were saying. So I'd go and you're turning down the bass, you're turning it, that sort of thing. It's like, God, I still can't. We got to turn the captions on with the hearing aids. You got all that back. I'm now having to turn the volume down while we're watching movies because I'm hearing everything loud and clear. It doesn't need to be louder. I didn't need volume. I just needed that clarity. That's my situation. Maybe you do need more volume. Maybe you need the lower end brought back in. How do you know unless you go to the hearing loss clinic and have an assessment? It's easy. It's for men and women of all ages. Kids can suffer from hearing loss. And in addition to all of that, there can be serious health risks linked to untreated hearing loss. 4, soon to be 5 locations in Calgary. They've got 5 in BC, Cranbrook, Creston, Fernie, Golden, and Invermere. You go to the dentist, you go to the doctor. Why wouldn't you go and have your hearing checked out as well? The best in the business are right here in our city. Hearingloss.ca 2023 Chamber of Commerce Professional Services Excellence Award winners. On Twitter, at The Hearing Loss. On Instagram, at The Hearing Loss Clinic. We will do a little what's on the menu for DoorDash, our Betway bets, Monday Night Football, some Flames hockey. It is a Calgary Flames game day, so we need to, he's probably going to get his nog on. The Pinder Report is brought to you by Village Honda, new in-stock inventory on the ground. Start your automotive adventures at Village Honda, where new vehicle pricing is MSRP. Our buddy Anthony, he wasn't in Vegas.
No.
But he'd have been happy. Did you hear the F1 it's been for the F1 people? It's been almost a boring season because Max Verstappen has been running away with it. He's won the drivers, Red Bulls won the constructors. Like it's all put to bed.
Well, and did you watch much of the race on Saturday?
I watched the whole thing Saturday night
live.
I did.
Really? You must have
I did.
Catnap that afternoon. That's wild. Because what was it, like 10 seconds before Verstappen had stolen first place?
Yeah, he was
on the first fucking turn.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Charles Leclerc had the pole. And a little bit of one of these, hey, get over. Little Verstappen kind of elbowed him out. Now, 5-second penalty, but in
which
the
meant
end, it didn't
bleep ball. Yeah.
Didn't really matter a whole lot. So the winning call was, what Verstappen's in Vegas stays in Vegas. Pretty clever. Pretty clever.
Worse. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was Anthony. I gotta be in. I got something else on the go.
He was in the mountains this weekend.
He was at Lake Louise.
LA, then the mountains, gallivanting.
Are the mountains fun right now? Like, or is it?
Yes, because it's been quite warm.
The weather's been terrific.
Yeah.
Been terrific out here. So anyway, let's do for Village Honda and Anthony, who would have been very happy with Verstappen winning, I would think.
Yeah, Dutch.
Right?
Orange.
Then what are the Dutch? It's the Pinder Report.
Yeah. Start with game day. Dean has not told anyone to put their helmet on.
Get your helmet on. It's a game day.
Thank you. What's the game? What's the day? Well, it's a Monday in Seattle against the Kraken. There you are, Rhett. That's okay. So that's a piece of art.
I need a
helmet. Is that the boys? Did the boys do that?
No, it's someone on Twitter at Suburban Bonfire. Let's do a lot of art for the Seattle Kraken. That's kind of something. Little waves behind the Kraken, flames behind the Look at this. Yeah, Seattle. It's a great place to vacation this time of year.
I do need a helmet.
Here's the Flames are 4-1-2. 7-game stretch, Rhett. 4-1-2. The latest another overtime setback at the hands of the Islanders, but points in 6 of 7, not bad. This little run started in Seattle when Martin Pospisil, where the Pospicilities really opened up on that day. And here's a look at your standings with the Flames.
Oh my God.
3 back of Seattle with 2 games in hand. Dean, you said it. They played very well in Climate Pledge Arena since this team came into the NHL.
5-0, perfect if that's good.
If that's good enough for you, we'll see if they can make it 6-0 tonight. Here's the look at the Seattle group. Forward lines as such. Again, no superstars, but some good depth. McCann, Beniers, Eberle, who's suffered a scary cut on his thigh, but has since recovered. And Jaden Schwartz, Wenberg, Tanev. There's your top 6. Bring him home.
Eberle's been good since he came back. 5 points in his last 3 games. The same for Tolvanen and Bjorkstrand. They've all got some point streaks going. Vince Dunn,
top 9, but not a lot of star power, which might kind of be similar to the Flames in a way.
I was going to say, because Vince Dunn, their defenseman, he leads them in scoring.
Vinny.
Yeah.
And they've got those 2 towers, Larson and Alexiak, each on a separate pair in the top 4. Old Bill Borgen, one of Boom's favorites.
Oh, boy, Billy Boy.
Schultz, and Dumoulin, the former Penguins.
Borgen, Florida. Yeah.
All right. Any thoughts on tonight's game, fellas? I mean, Seattle, everything went right last year. This year, not everything's going right, and they still don't have great goaltending, in my opinion. Where are we at on tonight's contest? It feels like like we said last week, winnable game for the Flames, but certainly not anything guaranteed for this group.
It's a late start out east. Really late. Can we start it earlier? Can you talk to him, Pinder?
No. 8 o'clock Mountain.
Dean and I will be doing Afterburner so that Rhett doesn't have to start a broadcast at 1 a.m.
I would have to be like Frank, where he was talking about people falling asleep and then waking up to
or Dean watching F1, something like that.
He was on at 10:30 at night. It was not like it was that late.
Oh, it's 11 that it started.
Well,
none of us.
It's not. That's not 1 a.m.
Not all of us are night owls like you, Dean.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go to NHL news.
Go ahead.
Gritty, the best because he's gritty. Let's have a look.
Mm-hmm.
Gritty's got a sign that says, "If I score, I get a date with your mom. If you stop it, I'll give you my stick." And well, he scores, buries it on the kid, and there's mom. Atta boy, Gritty.
Boy, Gritty, yeah.
Yeah, he's happy. There it is.
I thought he was going to do some pelvic thrusts there.
Yeah.
He does do them. He's got that big hoop there that he swings around. I score, a date with your mom, deal. And then watch him just bury on the kid. Like, oh yeah, Timbit's kids, and he just goes bar down on the poor little kid.
You know what? I'll tell you what. Gritty is one of the greatest redemption stories in all of sports.
Really
Remember the night of his debut, slipped and fell. When they introduced Gritty, he hit the turf, and it was like, oh, what is this? This is a mascot. It's what? It's orange. This is terrible. From that night on, the greatest. Sorry, Harv. Sorry.
Harv's fine. I just need Harv to do things. Harv used to do things. Like, remember when he got Mac D's grill?
Go flip. Don't make, listen. Fellas.
Like Harv.
Don't be taking runs at Harvey. All right?
I love Harv. I want the organization to let Harv do some more things. Free up Harv to have a little fun. Take some
hashtag
dates. Huh?
Free Harv.
Free Harv.
No, that could go bad.
What could go bad?
Hashtag free Harv.
Well, you know what went bad is when Mac T hauled the friggin' tongue out of his mouth.
I liked it. That's the stuff we're looking for. We need some controversy.
I was in the barn that night. There were some blank faces downstairs after that happened.
Whatever. That's perfect. Mac T wants to be upset about a stuffed outfit. Like,
it wasn't Mac T. It was just that there was the riot act.
You know what this sounds like to me?
Hmm?
This sounds to me like the small town feuds. Wow. Like, you have to be mad just to be mad because come on.
Do you get read the riot act?
Yep. Mm-hmm. You would.
There was some reading of the riot act that night to some specific people on the Flames side.
Some screaming of the riot act, maybe?
I felt sorry for some people that night.
Yeah, I could see that being a night to feel sorry for certain people. I thought it was great.
I did too.
Yeah.
Loosen up.
Don't take yourself too seriously.
Just look at Gritty's going to go and bang the kid's mom.
Yeah.
All Harvey did was like lean over the glass. Christ.
Speaking of not taking ourselves too seriously, 2 hockey teams nailed it with some third jerseys. Let's go wandering through the minor leagues.
We can't have those anymore, right? We can't have it.
It's minors, you can have fun. Mick Foley jerseys.
Yes.
It looks like Mankind. Yes. The plaid shirt with the t-shirt underneath. This is the Steinberg wardrobe. Look at this.
Now, I don't want to be wrestling nerd, But I do wonder if you mean like I wonder if that's Cactus Jack,
Could it
which
be
is
Cactus Jack?
McFoley. It is McFoley, which is mankind of that. But
Also, Dude Love.
yeah, Dude Love. He had the neon
Tie-dye?
stuff or the tie dye.
Yeah.
But that was, if I'm not
No.
mistaken, I believe that was kind of a Cactus Jack deal.
Socko. Look at the socks.
Socko,
Mr. Sock. Yeah.
Mr. Socko.
Yes. Beautiful stuff.
I see. Have fun. Why are we having fun?
Yeah. Did
Shouldn't
someone
be
get
allowed.
yelled the riot act about that too?
They'll
Of
get
besmirching
read the riot
minor
act.
league?
Yeah.
Come on. Here's another good one. Everyone does Star Wars night, but the Iowa Wookiees for a night. How about that? Get a jersey, Red.
I like
that is
that.
legit.
I really like that jersey.
Who can do it, Chewy?
What is that?
Yeah, no, I can't do it. Very
How does
well.
it? Well, you look like him.
Yeah,
You look the most like him, so you'd be the guy to do it.
smelling like
Get it
him
down in
after
front of
this
your. Can you do one of these? Get it kind of
I can't see you. I got
the hair. Get your hair down in your.
No, he's not, don't even did his hair.
That's
Yeah,
still
they're
gotta
all
be
nice.
lower. My
Sounds
brother
like
can
you
do a
have
good one. I can't do it.
Listerine going or something.
Gargling. Good work on those jerseys, people. Good work.
Nice.
The Oilers will start Calvin Pickard tonight, fellows. They're in Florida.
Oh, golly, it's all Calvin.
Yeah, Cal Pickard.
Yeah, God, where's Chet? Yeah,
Chet's
Chewy's-
not in the league anymore.
What about
Calvin got called up from Baco.
Oh, hell.
Calvin's cheering him on from home.
Well, let's go. Hey, fire up the old watching tube and let's watch old Calvin on the TV tonight.
Okay, so I don't know that this is going to be a long-term thing for the Pickards, so get this in while you can, Dean. They are going to try to add a goalie, and apparently Ken Holland working at it here. As you can see, I'm trying to find the
I
cap
love
space.
this scene. Love it.
Isn't this a great scene?
Oh. Oh, God.
Is this the second one, or which one is it? It's Austin Powers, for people that can't see, trying to do the 87,000-point turn to turn around the vehicle in the hallway. It's too small to turn around in.
I would like to know how they got it in there, right? Like you'd have to use some sort of a crane and like, because it's in there.
It's impressive. Amazing scene.
Yeah.
So the Calvin Pickard experiment begins tonight against the Panthers, who will be without Barkov. The Oilers just lost to the Lightning without Vasilevsky and blew multiple leads in that one on Saturday. They're not out of the woods. Jack, that Pacific Division standings we had a while ago, just for context, let's jump back and look, because they've been better, but this is still quite an ascent the Oilers are going to have to make, and probably will make, to get into the playoffs, but nowhere near the lock we thought they were to win the division. There they are, 4 points back of the Flames with just one game in hand. Only the Sharks are worse, and I mean, that's not great. Sharks are historically bad. Anyway, wanted to get that joke in because I know we all love that meme. Okay, NFL. Yesterday, Rhett, have you ever had to shower post-game with no hot water? I mean, I would expect it in maybe junior or minors, but in the NHL,
It's good for you.
it's great for you. Wim Hof would be very happy, but I think
Yes,
the
they
Commanders
should
were a
get
little
rid of
less
the
happy
hot.
about it. This is Schefter tweeting yesterday. The Giants and Commanders locker rooms have no hot water. We have had an equipment failure. The main water heater that provides hot water to the Field Life locker rooms, there's an issue there. Equipment failure. We can't resolve the matter without completely shutting off water for the entire stadium. Can't be repaired during the game. Enjoy your post-game ice-cold showers, fellows.
Remember when that one tube or the pipe broke and it was like pouring poo and pee water on a section of the fans?
Was that at FedEx Field
At
too?
FedEx? Oh, yeah.
Oh, that place is just like, honestly, fold
And
that
wasn't it
thing
there where the railing fell and that just
up.
about
Yes, I believe it was.
like Snyder's gone, but that team is still Jesus.
Yeah.
Now
Okay.
I know that there was a team on in the Manitoba Junior League, and it would be very inconvenient because you wouldn't have any cold water before the game for your water bottles,
And then,
and then you'd have no hot water after the games for your showers.
what are the odds of that, eh?
What?
Jesus. Do
You
you
hate
want
to
to
see
name what
it.
market that was in? Because I'm sure no one is doing the job that used to do that job in said market.
Oh, they probably are. They're probably running the place. It's
They're not
important.
dead?
No.
Okay. We get our usual bit of Steelers love/hate from Jack. A couple tweets here. This is Kenny Pickett and how his day went. Look at this spin he puts on the ball here, Reddy. Really good.
Ooh, nice. It's a dart.
Nobody within 40 yards of it. Again, look
look at the pressure. He has to get these. Hey,
AI.
Great protection, actually.
This is AI.
There's no pressure at all. And there's two guys right in front of him wide open. This play really pissed me off.
That's intense pressure.
No.
Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
Don't take the sack deep in your own
You
end.
can't look how deep he is there, Jack.
Okay, now watch again. Watch where it sails. This is a nice arm on him. Look at this.
Well,
Tight spiral.
if the receiver's not going to run the right route.
Oh, no. Now, this is just a shot. Anthony Richardson, of course, has been hurt and done for the year for quite some time, almost a month.
Is that true?
2 touchdown passes for Kenny Pickett since the beginning of October.
Yes, it's true.
So, Rhett, not only 2 goals behind Johnny Gaudreau, but only 2 touchdown passes behind Kenny Pickett.
I can catch them both.
Since October 1st.
Little less runway for the football one, Rhett. CFL, the big game on Sunday. Who was in the game and how did they get there? The CFL fucked it up again with another awful bracket. Let's have a look. You can't make this shit up. So on the west side.
Yeah, no, that's not right for sure.
BC went and played on both sides of the bracket. And on
why
the
is this so hard for these people? Like, I know, like, look, we don't listen. Don't make it so fucking easy for us, all right?
Seriously.
Don't make it so easy. We want to God, dig up, stupid.
It's great. They're going with it.
Oh my God.
Are they trolling us, Dean?
Are they in on the joke? They've got to be, because if not.
If there were more competent humans in the league office, they're totally in on it. But they fucked up a bracket 5 times before this. So
it has to.
At what point are they in on the joke and not just so incompetent? There was a line there where it was incompetence into the joke. I don't know where that line is with this league.
Anyway.
I mean, if they added another bracket in behind where BC played BC and went to BC, then I'd know they're in on the joke. These tools can't figure out how to run a bracket.
Oh, that's so,
Well, we had a esteemed panel before the game that laid out their predictions. And whenever you see this, you always get nervous as a fan. Anytime the entire panel's in on one team, you know you're in for an upset special.
Oh, was Bo not playing in the game?
Is Bo not? But he's in Hamilton.
Hamilton, the team did not play in the Grey Cup. It was indeed hosted in the city of Hamilton.
Oh.
Bo looks good on TV.
I like Jim.
Shoutouts to Sean Lemon, the former Stampeder. I think he's probably a former everything. Has he played for all 7 or 9 or whatever odd number teams this league has?
That's a lot.
This is him celebrating post-game. Lemon drops. You got to love it. Why is it so special for him? He's probably won the thing 3 or 4 times with 4 or 5 different teams. Maybe the math works on that. Well, Bender, our boy, broke it down for us why this is special. Didn't bring him back after being an all-star. Released into training camp. Signed in July. Mid-season, and they go 9-4 after this signing, 3 playoff games, and lift a trophy. Good on the former Stamp.
Congratulations there, Sean. Redemption has to feel good.
I'm sure that's just partying for a week in Montreal.
I know all of my victories, when they came after setbacks, they always felt so much sweeter.
Sweet tweets. Finally, a couple throwaways for you, Dean. I've been vindicated many times on this, but I'll go back to the well because you're still a little unsure about it. The C-bombs, not a big deal in New Zealand or Australia, a huge deal in North America. This gentleman lays it out for us. He is a New Zealander, a Kiwi living in the USA.
One of the biggest culture shocks I had moving from New Zealand to America is the significance of the word cunt. So I would often just say this word and then I would find people just gasping like, and they'd just be like, oh my God, why would you say that? And I'm trying to explain to them, right? Like the word cunt for us is such a neutral term because it could mean a good thing as well. Like if I call someone a sick cunt or a mad cunt or a good cunt, they're pretty cool. It's only if I call them like a dog cunt or like a shit cunt, that's when it's bad, right? You see, for them, the word cunt is actually a really, really bad slur. I mean, someone even told me that it's like the second worst thing you could say after the N-word, which is beyond fucked. And I guess it's up to you whether you kind of accept that. I mean, I personally accepted it for a while, but then I kind of figured that the people who fucking told me to not say cunt, they're cunts, bro.
Again, proving my point, Dean.
Jesus. It's a sponsored segment.
I think we got some video. I don't know who this is, if this is the shoveler and her pal or someone sent this in, but these crazy adrenaline-seeking rides are not for everyone. I think this is one of the slingshot ones where it launches you into the sky. Now, keep an eye on the lady on the left as you're watching. She seems to have a bit of an issue with getting scared and fainting. Oh, that's just fainted. She's out. She's out cold. Now she's back. Now she's out again. Now she's back and she's out again. I didn't know you could faint, come to, and faint again so quickly.
That'd be good for the brain.
Yeah, that looks really healthy.
Finally,
why are my wrists broken?
Rhett got busted. He and the shoveler were at an event, and someone had the camera going, and they were sneaking a little smooch in public, Dean.
Oh, that's nice.
Bill's blue on.
Oh, jeez.
Too much tequila.
Geez. This has been a rough Pinder Report.
Yeah. You had all weekend, and that's your...
Oh, that was your favorite dress, Rhett. That is a huge L.
Well, so you know what though? I've read that some people they like that shit.
That's your Pinder Report.
That's what you're researching. That's what you've read.
What are you reading?
Yeah,
it says that.
Leave your house, please. Leave your house.
No matter what it is, there's some kink. It's a kink for somebody. No matter what it is.
Get out of your house. If that's what you're reading.
Well, there's something I like. I don't know if I should. Whatever, babe. I'm down for anything. I mean, you're crazy. I like a wild chick.
I think that was Pickett and Jack there. He was in love, and then he got puked all over. He's very upset with Pickett right now.
Well, I kind of like having my hair pulled a little bit.
Okay, Dean, that's your Pinder Report.
Yeah, all right. I like to do it outside. Cool, baby. I like it if you get really drunk. And then hurl in my mouth. Babe. I don't think this is going to work out. I can get drunk. Thank you, Village Honda. Jesus Christ. Village Honda has a huge selection of used vehicles, all makes, all models, all budgets. God.
A lot of editing today.
Over 70 units on site, access to more than 400 more in the dealer group. Make Village Honda your one-stop automotive destination in Calgary. They're worth the trip. Good people at Village Honda, your dealership for life. Hey, you know what today is?
Monday.
25% off appetizers at Bad Rose Pub.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Mondays.
Monday Night Football starts at 6. 8 o'clock Flames game. I'm telling you, you can bang down a lot of appies.
You could.
Right?
Wow,
And you know what? Just keep them coming. You know what? Let's start with some nachos. We'll pick away at those. Do you have like matzo sticks or something deep fried? Yeah. Gonna need wings at some point. Gonna need wings.
Absolutely.
just keep it coming. Keep it coming steady. Mad Rose Pub in Royal Oak. They got 20 beers or more on tap. Kid-friendly Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Great food. There you go. See? King knows what's up. He knows the deal. Great pizza. Some of the best pizza you're going to have in our city. Gourmet stuff. Dough, sauce made fresh every single day. You can go to the website and get some DoorDash. Get it brought in if that's your deal. Madrose.pub. Madrose.pub is the website. And they're located at 15 Royal Vista Place. Matt has a great thing going up there. So many people talk to us about it now, right? Because they've been on since day one. They've kind of been an OG with us. So now whenever somebody has their Mad Rose experience, they're like, hey, we were at Mad Rose. Yeah, that's the feedback we get. That's what we get. Great food, great people, great spot. And today, yes, appetizers, 25% off right through at Mad Rose Pub in Royal Oak. The C-bomb thing still...
I know. So I had to remind you that it's okay.
No, I understand. I feel like I understand that for some people it's a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
None of those people are watching or listening to this. Like none.
Brad.
One. One person is okay with it.
That's right. Well, we're just trying to broaden people's horizons, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Experience other cultures around the world. Just change the way
like
you
I said, something, no matter what it is, it's a kink for somebody. DoorDash, restaurants, grocery, pharmacies, bakeries, flower shops, whatever it is. Why wouldn't you DoorDash? Ordering's easy. Open the DoorDash app. Choose what you want from where you want. Your items will be left safely outside your door. It's default contactless. Now, if that doesn't bother you, then just, hey, ding dong, pick her up and have at it. It's the best. For a limited time, our listeners and viewers, our buddies, get 25% off and zero delivery fees on your first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter promo code Nation25, Nation25, put it in there, and there you will get that deal for DoorDash. What's on the menu, Pinder, for DoorDash tonight?
We got Monday Night Football 6:15 kickoff. You said 6, but that's fine. You can watch the pregame. That's fun. They'll have you all set up for the action. It is a rematch of the Super Bowl with the Eagles and the Chiefs from Kansas City. And then just while that's wrapping up, you can switch over to check the Flames and Kraken from Seattle. Seattle, very slight favorites. 8 o'clock puck drop. That's a nice little double header for us out west. Rhett, you just tuck in, get something cozy on the couch, and you'll be purring by the first intermission.
Corn. Popcorn.
Nation25. That's the promo code for 25% off your first order with DoorDash. Offer valid in Canada. Subject to change. Terms apply. Dash that for the win with DoorDash. Who do we like in the old football game tonight? Take a just straight up. What do we like? I guess we could. Philly. I mean, we'll do the Betway bets, I suppose, but I know, Rhett, you don't do this stuff. So what do you? Should be a heck of a football game. You know?
Who are we going to cheer for?
You got to put your AFC hat on and think about that, I think.
That's a good point.
But I don't know that Buffalo can catch KC at this point.
I don't think they're really threatened.
No, and you're playing the Eagles next week, as Frank reminded us. So what kind of mood do you want the Eagles to be in? Fat and sassy, or all pissed off?
Well, they're gonna be overlooking the Bills anyway. They got this massive matchup against KC right now. Yeah. They're not thinking about the Bills. Short week for them. We're gonna roll them.
So tonight, then,
KC,
Eagles.
No, Philly for Frank, because I'm a team guy this week, and then next week I'm not.
Gotcha.
Dino, who do you like?
Well, I have in the point spread, I went the other way, but I think I'm going to go Chiefs. But I think it's going to be a good one.
So you took the points with Philly. You can still win both sides here, right? If
yeah, and you know what? I haven't
less than 2.5. I think.
Yeah, and I haven't checked the spread for today yet, because when we did our bets on Friday, I think it was +3.
2.5.
So anyway, I mean, should be a heck of a football game. Did you know that the Kelseys are brothers?
Heard that. Jack,
I really like the doc. If you haven't seen the doc, then you should watch it. The Kelsey documentary.
Could we go to the Jack Cam real quick? Need a prediction. And if you've watched the Kelsey doc.
I've never watched the Kelsey doc, but I listened to their podcast. That's also really good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Prediction, who's home?
KC.
Yeah, give me KC.
Okay. It is that close, isn't it?
Really feels that close. Betway bets. I'm gonna do the Betway bets.
Yeah.
Got the Betway bets. Get the Betway app. Bet the responsible way with Betway. You know what? Love seeing Betway out there.
Yeah, they're out there.
Seeing our boys at Betway, they're out there. Seeing them on the hockey broadcasts,
Rink boards.
Let's go Betway.
Mm-hmm.
It's all because of us. I know it. My bets of the day, I'm going to go with a Jaden Schwartz anytime goal. I mentioned that he has 5 power play goals, 8 to lead the team. Give me an anytime goal for him, plus 187. And on the flip side, it's one of their pre-built bets. Flames money line win and a Kadri point, plus 200. Nazem Kadri has 10 points in his last 9 games. That line has been pretty good. Nice. So I'll take a Kadri point and a Flames anytime win for plus 200.
Okay, I'm kind of with you in a way here. Zeri to get a single point plus money. He is basically a point per game guy and played well in Seattle. 7 games ago when they were there. I also like to ride the Yegor train. He looked good. Got some extra ice time at the end of that contest against the Islanders on Saturday. Got some swag in the shootout. An anytime goal plus 375. He was pumped when he tipped in that point shot. It's a big goal. Looking good.
Those are your Betway bets. Get the Betway app and bet the responsible way with Betway. Before we head out, want to mention that this episode of Barn Burner is sponsored by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try. If you're thinking about it, if with November, December is that time of year, it's joyous and everyone loves it, except everyone doesn't love it. It can be a tough time. And if you're thinking that maybe you could use a little help, maybe therapy's something that you're kind of interested in or you're becoming a little more familiar with, then you need to give therapy a try online with BetterHelp. BetterHelp.com/FlamesNation and get on your way to being your best self. Yes, family, lack of family, holiday season, it's not the easiest for everybody. And asking for help can be hard. Online therapy is convenient. Obviously, it's online, every part of it. You fill out a brief questionnaire. You'll get matched with a licensed therapist. You can switch at any time as far as therapists are concerned in case the fit just isn't quite right. And everything's going to be suited to your schedule. Whatever it takes to kind of make it work for you, that's why BetterHelp is so great at it. Therapy helps you to identify what your challenges are, and you start building those strategies and coping skills and getting in front of things so that when those challenges do pop up, you're better equipped to handle them. Make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/FlamesNation today. Get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/FlamesNation. So there you go. That's our program for Monday. There's Lord of Fleck. Great show today, guys. Glad I caught it. Get some billboards. Yeah, I guess. Imagine if more people knew we were doing it. Think how
many more people would know
we were doing it. People would know about it.
That's a lot of pressure. I'm not ready for it.
That's true.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want the fame to change us all.
All right, buddies. Well, we appreciate you. Support the sponsors. Forget a good chunk of this show even happened today. Just don't even bring it up. Don't
talk about it.
Yeah, just out of mind. And we'll be better.
What happens next? We'll see you next Tuesday, dude.
That's right. See you next Tuesday.
Anything is possible.